Good evening, design aspirants. Welcome to the BRDS Topper Interaction 2024. I am Prerna Nahar, a design mentor at BRDS, and I will be your host for this exciting webinar. We are thrilled to have three exceptional achievers with us today: Tanushi, Krisha, and Arnav. These individuals really worked hard to achieve their goal, and here they are to share their experiences and insight with all of you. So I will introduce one by one. Before that, if you want to ask anything to Tanushi, to Krisha, to Arnav, you can drop your questions addressing Tanushi question. I will be asking them also. If you want to ask anything related to design preparation or related to any course, you can ask them. Definitely, they will be helping you out. And I have also prepared some of the questions for them, which I think that it is very important for all of you to know. So firstly, I will be asking my questions and then I will be allowing you to ask your question through chat box. So let's start with an introduction from Tanushi. Tanushi, please introduce yourself, All India Rank 1. Introduce yourself. Where are you from? How design came in life? How you thought that I want to be a designer? Over to you, Tanushi.
Hello everyone, I am Tanushi. I am from Haryana. I scored AIR 1 in NID. I got into NID Ahmedabad through BRDS. For me, design came into my life very early. So my mom herself is into this field. So influenced by her, I was always into creative building and how the world works basically. So that led me into more into sketching, drawing and crafting. And when I looked upon this, when I came to 12th standard, I saw about NID and NIFT, and then I decided to pursue designing and in NID. Then I prepared for NID through BRDS Chandigarh, where my peers and the faculty helped me a lot, and I finally got into NID Ahmedabad.
Great to hear that. Krisha, All India Rank 3. Tell us about yourself, how you prepared for the same, where you prepared, from which class you were in, you start preparing for the same.
Hello everyone, my name is Krisha Lathia and my All India rank for NID was 3. And I was a student at BRDS Maninagar. And I feel like it was a really great journey of me going to BRDS for 2 years and then finally getting admission at NID Ahmedabad. Actually, I was always into crafting and decorating my houses rather than sketching. And then I came to know about BRDS from one of my relatives, and that was the time when I joined BRDS in 11th standard. And after that, uh, through the teaching and guidance of the faculty at BRDS, I got into NID.
Great. Same question to you, Arnav. Tell us about yourself. Where are you from and what rank you got in NID?
Hello, my name is Arnav Rane. I was in BRDS Thane and I was All India rank 5 and I got into NID Ahmedabad. Actually, both my parents are from fine arts background and they both do graphic design. So they actually inspired me and they told me about BRDS and NID, and that's how I came to be here.
Okay, great. So you all, there was a quick introduction from all of these inspiring designers. Now, if you want to ask anything to them, you can drop in the chat box below. Before that, I will be asking some of the questions. So, as you all are in NID right now. So, tell us about your academic journey being so far at NID. It's almost 3 to 4 months now. So, how is your journey going at NID? Tanushi?
For me, NID has changed my perspective of viewing the world and how I look at it. NID taught me how to visualize things, how to learn by visualize, and how to keep my ideas, like sketch my ideas, which honestly didn't really happen for me earlier. And it also taught me how time management works, how hard work is really important, and how patient yields satisfying results. NID in and all is a great experience for anyone who is aspiring to be a designer. NID really shapes you and it helps you understand your surroundings in a better way. So,
Same question to you, Anna. Tell us about your journey being so far at NIT.
So basically, after like I would say the point of NID is to sensitize you to a lot of things.
Okay.
So I've started noticing a lot of more things around me and how everything is different. And basically for me, like drawing and something can be really stressful. Like putting a line on a blank page, it used to be really stressful for me. But after after these 4 months, it just becomes like a flow.
Okay. So earlier you were not good at drawing. Basically, you are saying that.
Yeah, kind of. I was more of stressed about it.
Okay. So students, this is very good that he also was not that much good, but then he practiced, and now he is in NID. Krisha, tell us about your journey. You are from Ahmedabad. You are doing your graduation from NID Ahmedabad only. So being in the same city, how is your experience being in NID Ahmedabad?
Actually, it is very hectic, but aside from that, it is actually all of the students they become very good at time management because there are lots of assignments, but it's really enjoyable. But the thing is that the exercises and assignments which they provide to us are very constructive. That you learn something from one assignment and then you also apply that and learn something new from the second assignment. So they just keep on building our knowledge. So
Okay.
that's very good.
Okay. So, what inspired you to pursue design? Can you tell us about the journey that led to that decision? Because at some point of time, we don't know actually what we want to do in life. It's just some random thoughts that I want to be in designing or architecture or any other field. So, what led to this decision that designing is good for you? So, Arnav, yes to you.
So basically, like I said, my parents were both already in fine arts, so I was already motivated towards the creative field. I knew I didn't really want to just like, I wanted to make things which had some meaning behind it and it had some purpose, not just art. As in, not just art, but other functional things as well. So that's what sort of, in a way, inspired me for design.
Okay. Tanushi, what inspired you to be in design field?
I think for me, the major was like when I took non-medical for my 11th and 12th standard, I knew for sure engineering or like any medical profession was not for me. Designing is something I really enjoy doing. I think I had a hand in it. I was not good at sketching or anything, but I think whenever I did it, I enjoyed doing it. It was a field I loved doing. So that inspired me to pursue designing. And also, this is very perception ki हमें लगता है designing is something which is like arts background, but it uses its mind also. Like you need mind if you're doing designing. You need to understand your surroundings. You need to understand what really goes into the world to do designing. That inspired me.
Creativity. Basically, creativity. Yes, it is required. So overall experience, because see, NID is the first entrance exam that you give after, like before your boards exam. So how was your overall experience giving NID entrance exam, going to the exam hall? What all thoughts used to come to your mind that this is my first exam, and you have your boards also, that pressure definitely is there. So Krisha, what was your experience throughout?
Okay, I think that you have to relax yourself the day before the exam because your mind has to be really fresh so that whatever questions comes to you, you'll be able to answer them uh, like however you want to answer them. But rather than your mind should not be exhausted from all the practices that you did the before day, but rather you have to chill and then on the day of the exam, you just have to do your best. That's all I think. And
Yeah.
especially time management. You have to be very precise about managing your time.
Yeah. So time management is the thing that all of you three have said here. The time management is very, very important because you are focusing on entrance exam, you have to complete this part. So time management is definitely important. So yeah, time management, students, you can keep in mind because that is one of the key factor as well. So moving towards the next question, it's all about key factors for exam preparation. So what are the three main important aspects of preparing for the NID exam? What do you think contributed most to your success? Arna?
I would say, like, for me, my weak point was maths, and the GAT part had a bit of it. So BRS actually helped me with that because I was really bad at maths and I had forgot. It's not that a difficult maths, it's quite basic maths, but even that I would like gotten to the point of forgetting. So just relearning that and everything, that really helped. And other creative things are just you have to think about it with not with a closed mind, but with an open mind.
Correct.
That's
So
what helped me, I would say.
okay, so it is important that your DAT, CAT, GAT, all parts should be equal. If not, then you can practice. Maths is very basic, that is asked in the exam. Tanushi, same question to you as well.
I would suggest three things which really worked out for me were live sketching my surroundings, like going for live sketching for example, anatomy, nature study, and also like moving vehicles. That was really helpful. And then for time management, we did mock tests, a lot of mock tests with a time constraint. That really helped me. And also for the GAT section, like for GAT, I really practiced the questions we were given in the class and focused on understanding the concept, because if we know the concept we can solve any question. So instead of focusing on the questions, the amount of question I'm solving, I was focused on the concept which I'm getting or not.
Okay, yeah. So you have to be very much active, basically. So we are talking here about the DAT and GAT part, that is the design aptitude and general ability part. So design is all about creativity, general ability is all about English, maths, reasoning, GK. So different section is there. So which of the two subject did you find more appealing, Krisha?
Okay, like between the GAT and the DAT.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the DAT part was really interesting for me because they almost tested all my senses. And rather than looking at it as an exam, I was very excited because I just wanted to do it. Rather than me being stressed out about the fact that I'm having an exam, I was actually involved in the process and I enjoyed it. And because there is also this fact that there is not a definite answer to a definite problem, but NID is only such type of exam where you are given the freedom that all the students have their own solutions to problems. And I think that freedom, I actually enjoyed it. Like you can solve that problem however you want. Like there is not a certain way you should be doing something, like we are always constrained about it in our schools. It is just something different.
Okay. And Tanushi, what about you? GAT, DAT, I already know about Arnav that he was more into DAT part, as he said before. But what about you, Tanushi?
For me, that was more appealing. GAT, certainly the thing is I had non-medical, so for me that wasn't that appealing. I was doing it for a very long time, but drawing seemed a new thing for me. And I also enjoyed doing giving the DAT exam more because I wasn't focused on thinking about the outcome. I was focused about the questions I was given and how those were resulting out for me. Not I didn't have a answer to find those questions. Like in that, I had a particular answer to tick. Otherwise, in that, it was free. I could do anything I like. It was very subjective.
Okay. Okay. So overall experience, you were with BRDS, Krisha, for 2 years. So overall, your experience, would you please provide an overview? Tell us about the classes, learning environment, faculty, because that plays a really important role to be where you are today. So which course did you enroll in at BRDS? It was online or offline? So
No,
how it
yeah,
went?
it was offline. Yeah, it was offline, and the part which I liked the most about BRDS was that there was not a limited timings that only you have to come at this timing or this timing. You can go whenever you feel like going. And the other thing was, I can reach out to the faculty whenever I want. And the atmosphere which BRDS was providing was really helpful, because at some point when I was stuck and I didn't get any ideas about how I should approach to a solution of some problem, I could always look at the other students solving them, and that could also lead me in ideating more better ideas. So yeah, it was really helpful. Also, especially the logical reasoning part, because for me, I'm not the type of person who likes general knowledge much. So my main focus was on doing logical reasoning, because I knew that if some question comes which I have not read about, I won't be able to answer them. But instead, if I know the maths part, which is not like maths, but logical reasoning, uh, I could easily get those marks. So my focus was more on getting full marks in the logical reasoning part, rather than focusing on general knowledge, which was quite difficult for me.
Okay, okay. So overall, as you said, yes, definitely group in a group. That is why we have 15 to 20 students in a group, so that you learn better. Faculties are there throughout all the day, so that you can come practice as much as you want. Mock test is going on right now. You can give mock test so that you can prepare better and you know what is your loophole, how you can prepare, how you can improve the same. So same question to you also, Arnav, that what was your experience being with BRDS, talking about the faculty? It was online or offline for you?
Mine was offline, and I would say my experience was really nice actually, because personally I didn't really sketch before much, and like that really motivated me, like seeing everyone around and in the class. And actually, the reason I picked BRDS was the tables. They were not like a single long table, which is just that's a science, engineering, whatever class. It's not. It didn't feel creative to me. The tables were
Okay.
little wonky. It's a weird thing, but the tables were a little wonky, kept however, and that sort of made me more creative in a way, I would say, and just it
Okay.
felt a more creative space.
Okay. So basically, you're talking about the infrastructure. We also didn't thought that table would make such a difference. It's good to know, Anna.
Yeah.
Tanushi, would you like to answer the same question?
I think they have covered most of the points. I would like. I think faculty interaction for me was very important. That I could go on one-to-one interact with them with all my problems, and they had solutions for everything I had, questions I had. They used to sat with me for long hours answering my queries, and also like the fact that you can interact with other people, like your peers, and learn through them. You can understand how sometimes the faculties don't feel what we are going through, because for them it's been a long time, but the peers are like going through the same thing, and together it really helps to connect and understand that you can do it. It motivates you mentally a lot.
True, true. And the study material, Tanushi, what you got from our side,
Yes.
was more than enough, or
They were more
tell us
than enough.
about the study material also?
No, the GAT material was more than enough. Actually, it is all that I needed to go through. Even though that it was too much for me sometimes, but yeah, it was more than enough, pretty sure.
Okay. So the study material is also very important, that whatever is
Yes.
given to you, you go through it in detail. So there is a lot of importance of sketching and design here. Definitely, this exam is all about design. So how critical do you consider sketching and a strong understanding of design principles are in the design field? So Krisha, importance of sketching here, because you are the one who is more interested in sketching part. So tell us about it.
Actually, my take on that is, uh, I'm not the kind of person who likes drawing that much. Rather, I really like to work with different kind of materials. In that sense, I like the that part more, because there we had to work with different kind of materials. And I do think that from the point of view of NID, if you work on the principles of designs more, it would be really helpful, because they are not seeking for someone who already knows. Uh, they don't, I mean, even if you are not that good in design, like sketching, whatever you want, but rather your ideas, if your ideas are good, they'll give you good marks, because all they want is good ideas. because then sketching can be improved, but the main core of an ID is ideas. So you need to work on your ideas and make as much thumbnails as you can for each and every question. That was the thing which I used to do. Like even for the same question, I used to make 4 to 5 thumbnails, which will also increase your ideation and visualization. And yeah, that's all.
Okay. So this question was my next question, but I would like to ask to Tanushi the same. What strategies did you use to tackle the variety of questions that is asked in DAT part? Because there are a lot of variety of questions you get. You get perspectives, you get futuristics, you know, a variety of questions is there. So how did you tackle this
For
situation?
me, I really enjoyed industrial sketching, and I was very, very, very weak at anatomy. So I used to try whenever I got a composition, I used to try to make the industrial part look so nice that anatomy didn't really matter. Like it is important, but I try to overcome it, like overpower my industrial, so the anatomy wouldn't show that much. Like for composition, I used to make big compositions. The anatomy should do like small, and for tackling, like for time management and like the same, I what I did during my preparation was, for every question the marks I got, for example the question was 20 marks, I used to give double the time, like 40 minutes for it. And I, in those 40 minutes, for first 7 minutes, I used to thumbnail, like Krishna said, we used to thumbnail a lot, like small sketches on the side, not detailed, like very quick 30-second sketches which could convey the idea I want to.
There are small sketches. I have always seen students doing the small part first to ideate and then doing the actual the whole presentation and whole drawing. So Arnav, how regular you were at practice session? See, because learning is something that you do in the class, everyone is doing. But how important was practice, regular practice for you? Time management practice, and how much you practiced? Like in a week, if I say how much you practiced?
Basically, the realistically the only practice I did was coming to BRDS, and like I would say right before the exam around this time only, I started looking at the old questions that were in the old papers, and I just started looking at the type of questions they were. And those type of questions, I would just try to understand them because ratta methods don't work for me. I try to understand things and I try to explain them in my own way.
True. So that is the way you practiced, and how much hour like you were in BRDS practicing?
Usually I was like, I would say 3 to 4 days, maybe 2, 3 hours.
Okay, so that much practice he did. So practice is definitely very, very important. That is the only way you understand where you are lacking. Yeah. So, Tanushi, as you had your boards, you had this exam before the boards exam. So how did you manage both together? Like boards and this, how did you segregated time for both, and how did you practice?
So I think what I did, from the start only, I was focused on both the aspects. I was
Okay.
working on my NM side by side, and this during the December month when the exam was really approaching, I did turn my attention towards NID more than I was doing towards NM. And then, but it is easy. So if you try time managing, you can give like 50-50 time. It is more than enough. You can solve one mock test every day. What I used to do, I used to solve one mock test every day, 2-3 hours for sketching. The rest of the time I used to give to my NM studies, for example, depending on the tuitions I had. And it was more than enough for this. Like the practice sessions were, I was in the practice sessions working like 2-3 hours, and then mock test was enough.
Okay, and how much percentage you got in your 12th, if you want to say here?
I got 90%.
90%. Okay. And same question to you, Krisha, how you prepared, because there were two exams going on together. So how you balanced both? Krisha, over to you.
Okay. Same as Tanushi, I kind of balanced them out throughout the year, but especially in December when the NIDS exam was approaching, at that time, those 15 days, especially, I only focused on my entrance, and then again, I started focusing on my boards side by side.
Okay, both together. So
Yeah.
it was easy for you all to manage both and boards and exam together, NID
Uh,
entrance exam.
it is not that tough because it is not about how much time you are giving to an ID. entrance preparation. It's all about ideas, as I said. Even if you're getting ideas in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, it's more than enough. It's like if you are sitting there for 3 hours, I cannot sit for longer hours at something. So what I was doing is taking breaks in between. So it's not like doing the same thing for longer period of time, because then your brain will be exhausted and you won't be able to do the same thing for longer period of time. So what you should do is simultaneously do both the things.
Both the things, yeah. So
Yeah.
you change also. So, what common mistakes should students avoid, especially during the DAT prelims exam, Arnav? So, what is the common mistake you feel like students do when they are appearing for that prelims part?
I would say like that film was in the second part, right? You're saying
First
second
part.
part of the
It's the first part, which you get in the month of January.
yeah, that one. Okay. So basically, what people do is they just go for their first thought. As in, you have to look at things again and you have to check if you're right. You have to double check yourself, or you have to go for your fourth thought, basically. Like one of the questions was depict a grandma or a 7-year-old. You have to look at the things and think about the things that you have to make a room, their room. So in their room, in their space, you have to see what a 7-year-old would have, 7-year-old would have, or what a grandma would have. You have to depict those things. And those things being depicted is important. How realistic they are and how perfectly drawn they are, that doesn't really matter.
Mhm.
In fact, it's not my personal experience, but one of my friends, he actually drew stick figures,
Okay.
and he's in NID. He's in NID Ahmedabad.
Oh, great, great. So, as we also say, students here, drawing is not that important that your drawing should be very much, up to the mark. Your drawing should be like the color should be appropriate. Your ideation, first of all, they will be looking. Whatever you make, your ideation, if you're doing a stick figure or you are adding the composition, that hardly matters to them, matters at least in an ID. And what about you, Tanushi? What mistakes students should avoid? Because I think you have something to say about it. What
Yes,
mistakes?
like as you mentioned about the coloring and the sketching, like the for me, I really worked upon my ideas because NID for me, I didn't think NID wanted to see my drawing that much. They wanted the ideas more. So I spent more time on the ideas rather than drawing. My drawing wasn't that good, according to me. It was average only. So I worked upon my ideas more, like stick figures and all. I also use stick figures in some of my drawings and that. And also in that we just sometimes we get stuck to one question and we try to just do that question. We have something in our mind, but it is not working out. We should understand that sometimes it is easier to move on than come back to the same question with new ideas, because it gives you a refresh. It refreshes your mind. But for me, like I was stuck on the question. There was a question last year where you have to design a product to carry water up mountains. So I had a idea in my mind. I was not able to depict it. So rather than like sucking on it, I went to the next part, did the entire exam, then came back. I had something new in my mind and I could easily depict it. So that worked out.
Okay, you are saying that if you are stuck somewhere, leave at that time, move ahead, and then you can come later on to the same question. So, what do you think, Krishal? Is this the right approach? Like you also did the same? Like,
Yeah, same for me. But there is one more thing which I want to point out is you should go through the entire paper once, so that sometimes what happens is there are connected questions. So maybe you could have attended it different way if you would have known that there is another question which is linked to it. So first of all, take 5 minutes, read the entire paper, which will also give you assurance that okay, this is difficult for me, but then other questions are easier for me. So you won't take that much stress while doing it.
yeah, true. And the same, like you prepared for the studio test also. So studio test that mains, which is the second phase of NID that comes in the month of April. So tell us about studio test. How did you approach it? Because you were interested in craft before also. That is the way you got inspiration to become a designer. So 3D model making is all about crafting work using different material. So tell us about that. How did you do that?
Okay. So I was specially working on my skills, like even if you don't know many things about it, but at least you should know about the material. Like you cannot use some type of glue on thermocols, and you should be very well versed about what you can use and which materials can go with each other. And there is specific technique which you have to use when you are dealing with thermocol. Okay, like you have to go back and forth while cutting it to get that smooth edge. So even if you're not don't know much about the material, but the basics should be clear. So when some type of material is given to you in the exam, you'll just make less errors and not waste your material. The other thing which I've experienced in that part is especially that even if you're not able to make the entire product, which happened with one of my friends, but still they are at NID. But if you are good at ideation and if you have already drawn an idea and shown your ideation on the paper that what you wanted to make, but even if you were not able to make the entire product, they'll appreciate it. So if that happens at any point, your product is not stable, don't stress upon it and just go with the flow. Yeah. So again and again, ideas are the thing that matters the most. And that is all about you being more and more observant and all about the basic things. What you need to do is think from the people's point of view, from the consumer's point of view. If there is a scenario of, let's say, remaking the toothbrush, so instead of going and adding complicated technology to the toothbrush, that if I press this button this will happen, they don't want something like that, because this is not something that you can just make. Whether there is technology that can make something in that compressed place, it's really important that instead of that you think about something sustainable and something easier, which you can easily ideate and which has some more advantages to it. And NID especially likes if it is sustainable, if there is not much technology to it, but still useful. Because majority of the people won't be able to purchase the products which have high technology. And NID is a place who thinks, no, not even NID, but designing is all about consumer. So you have to think about how it would be relevant to the people and then come upon some solution.
Correct, correct. So it should be durable, basically, it should be durable. So that
Yes.
yeah. So as we discussed now, how important, Tanushi, is communication, especially during the interview stage. Did you experience any interviews?
No, for us, there was no interview. We just had one studio test.
Studio test. So you have to explain that studio test, whatever model you are making, you have to explain that to the.
We know it was a sheet-based test. Like we were given a sheet and we have to write in that or make like material handling skills. There were no interview direct questionnaires with the faculties. There was nothing like that. It was for the masters.
Yeah, it is for masters, but sometime in NIT before in 2020, 21, I suppose
Yes.
there was interview round. They can change anytime, but yeah, communication, they can check, but right now, years they didn't have that part.
One thing I could share about that, one of my friends told me actually, he said that he got a lot like tense when they were questioning him, and rather than like answering the question they asked, he started talking about his own things and didn't really met their needs, what they were asking. So just don't stress, even if you have an interview. And I also heard last time some of my friends got pop-up questions by the people who were there, like just checking around. And even though that doesn't matter, just don't get stressed about it. It does not matter what they ask, just be honest. It like just tell them what you're doing instead of making up.
Yeah. Being honest in the masters also, when they ask, they want honesty only because they have everything. They have gone through anything. If you will tell something that is not relevant, they will know that that is not relevant. So application to other design colleges, Arnav, did you fill any application apart from NID, any other application, and were you accepted in that institute?
Yes, I had applied to 3 other institutes and I was accepted in all of them.
Okay, and the 3 institute which you applied was?
It was ISDI, ITM, and Whistling Woods.
Okay, and you cracked that also, right?
Yes, all.
There, portfolio was required?
Yes, there you require portfolios.
Okay.
Actually, I would say that is the most important part of it.
So your portfolio was ready till then?
Yeah, my portfolio was ready, and I would say it was a good portfolio.
Okay. So right now we don't have that much of time that we can see your portfolio over
Yeah,
here.
obviously.
Definitely next time. But portfolio is something for NID. It is not, they are not asking, but other design colleges. NID also asked in 2021, if you are aware. So
Mhm.
2021 they asked for the portfolio. So portfolio, many private colleges definitely ask for it. So definitely you should have good artwork, collection of good artwork that you can showcase. Uh, Tanushi, any exam tips? What are some crucial things that students should keep in mind on the day of exam? So this is on the day of exam. We did all the things before we started. We are actually, we think we are very good at it, but what exact on the day you should do?
First of all, don't panic at all. You have done all. Just don't panic and prepare your bag before the night. Do not work the last night. You should not work. It really messes your mind up. If you're not able to solve one question, it will mess up with your mind and your paper. You'll be like, I didn't know how to do that. I won't be able to solve the entire exam. Don't do that. And for the exam, start by going through every question first. Just look through what your questions are, manage the time in the exam, like you're going to spend this much time on this question and this much time on this question. uh, Prioritize which question you're going to do first on the exam, and before the exam, just don't panic. It's going to be all right. We have done it.
Now it's done. It's just go and give the exam. Krisha, same question to you as well.
Okay. Yeah. As I said, that don't work till the last day and give your mind some rest. If you want, you can just go out and chill. But on the exam day, what I feel is, even if you're not getting some creative idea of one question and you are just thinking about it, you can either sit and think about it, or what I did was, there was one time when I felt like lazy and sort of boring. So what I did was I went to the washroom, and because of that, I took a mini walk, and simultaneously I was also thinking about the same problem, like how would I approach it. So it is not something which you are already prepared from, like previously. So even if you're sitting there and thinking about the same thing, or going out and thinking about the same thing, maybe for some students while walking they can ideate better. So you might consider going to the washroom, I guess.
So without
Okay.
fail, shorter break you can take in
Yeah.
between.
Yeah.
Short
Yes.
break. As you said, you are not good at sitting and doing a lot of,
Yeah.
so definitely it worked for you. So yeah, you can take a short
The
break.
other thing, yeah, we were not allowed watches with us. So I think you should not restrict yourself, and do ask what time it is to the supervisor as many times as you want. Okay.
Correct.
That's the only thing.
Yeah, because you don't have
Don't
any.
feel shy about it.
True. Any take on this, Anda, regarding
Yeah,
the watch timing?
I would actually also like to say, like, the day before the exam, do not study anything. Just recollect what you have learned this whole time, because I'm sure these people are probably studying for hours and hours,
Correct.
probably more than I did. But just recollect everything, because if you never recollected it, you would never be able to put it to paper.
True.
And what I would actually say, another thing is, during the exam, if there is a question like a problem, like you have to get 20 liters of water from the ground to a mountain, don't think of it as someone else has. Think of it as your problem and how would you solve it.
Correct. So
So I would
that
say something that helped me.
yeah, that will help you to understand that what solution will be comfortable for you rather
Yes,
than
for
for
sure.
others. It's true. So my side, last question for all of you three, starting with Tanushi, what advice would you give to aspiring designers who are preparing for the NID entrance exam? So what advice from your side, Tanushi?
Now I would say just focus on mock tests as much as you can, work on your time management, and just keep reflecting back on what you have done. Sometimes we don't realize, we just keep on doing and going and going. We don't see the mistakes we have done, and we continue to make those mistakes again and again. if we don't go back and see that, oh, we did this wrong, I should go back and like redo the question. And later on, when I try a new question, I have to not make the same mistake. That is very important. Like as Arnav mentioned, recollect your ideas. You should always reflect back on what you have done so far. And mock tests are very important. Live sketching also, like live sketching even till the day, like one day before, I was not doing any mock test, I was just live sketching. I went around in the park and like saw whatever I saw, I was sketching. It really helps you to clear your mind out and still sketch, because you don't have to use your brain really, but still you're sketching.
Krisha, for you, what advice you
Yeah.
want to give?
First of all, I would talk about the dead part. In that, if it is not written that you are allowed to use any additive, you should not use glue or anything extra. If they are giving you some materials, you should only work with those materials, and please do not work with any extra material. Second, I already told you that you should go and read all the question once, so you can get an idea. Third is you should always make lots of thumbnails, because ideas are more important rather than your sketching, because my drawing is not that good. Okay, so yeah, so ideas were the main thing. And if at any point if you are stuck that I don't know how to solve this problem, origami helps. Okay, origami is something which you can use in most of the products, and still they will like it, because it is sustainable, it uh, saves space and etc. And the other thing is composition. Okay. People might think that colors is important, that you have to color everything, but you don't need to color. Only if it is written, mentioned that in this question it is required for you to color, then color it. Except for that, use colors wisely. Like there was one question in our dead part where we had to, okay, there are many beggars begging, like children begging at the crossroad, and we had to draw one scenario from their point of view. So what I did was I drew the perspective, which my perspective is not good, but still I managed to draw that. And how I used color was I only colored fruits and toys. And by that, I wanted to depict that the child is not interested in anything else, but his main and major focus in is on toys and food. So whenever you are using colors, use colors creatively. I'm not interested in knowing the color of the shirt of the boy, like is he wearing blue color shirt or green color shirt, but rather than like I'll give you one more example. If you're drawing one paper and you're using 30 seconds to just roughly sketch it, like shade it, that won't give me any more information about it. But rather, if you're using the same 30 seconds and drawing some cracks on the paper, it would provide me with some additional information. So they are not looking at, just as I said, that NID is a designing institute, it's not a fine art institute. So skills does not matter. And composition, whenever you are drawing something, it is very crucial for you to compose. Like there should always be one flow. Okay, if you are drawing something, you should maybe go from left to right, right to left, but there should be flow to the viewer, so it would be easier for them to check the sequence. Or you can also add numbers so that they can know that, yeah, this is the first, this is the second, this is the third. And also the thing that I used to do in my paper was bullet points are a must. Even if at some point you have drawn something and that might look clear to you, but we have always noticed this while working in the class, that when we look at something, we might not get the scenario, but the person who has drawn something, they think that, yeah, this is clear to everyone. So even when you have drawn something, it is very crucial to write what you have drawn in bullet points. You should not exceed 3 words if they have not told you to elaborate it. But yeah, you should always write it, whatever you have drawn, because if the person is not able to understand what you have drawn, just by reading those points, they'll get a hold of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just one more thing, one
Yes,
last
yes,
thing.
please,
Yeah.
please.
Okay, there are different kind of questions in your exam. So after reading those questions, first question which you should be asking is what it is that they want to know from that question. if the question is about problem solving, you should give more time of your in ideating it rather than sketching it, because the more weightage of marks would be upon how you are ideating it. If the question is about perspective, there you, even if you don't give any time to ideating, it's fine, because they want to test your skills. So it is very crucial to you to know that what is it that they are testing in that question, so you could get more marks accordingly. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, great. It was great understanding the whole thing, the whole advice. Arnav, over to you. What advice you want to give to upcoming design like NID students? Your audio is
Oh yeah, sorry. Basically, what I would say is just don't take as much stress as a lot of people are taking. Like I can see so many questions which are like
yeah
just so many
already
things which even I wish I would have done, but I never did, and I'm still here.
yes. So you
You
should
you
not
cannot stress.
stress and you should not overthink also. This will happen.
Yes.
Anything else, Arnav, you want to say?
No, not really.
From stress. So right now this was all about my part. We have lot many questions here. I would ask questions to you. If the question is specifically for any of three of them, please write the name also. So when you came out giving the exam, were you like that it went very good? We will be in NID. That confidence was there, Tanushi, with you that you will get AIR 1.
No, never. That is not. But the thing is, for me, so what happened was the exam was all industrial based, which never happens. It was in my favor a bit. So I was like, it went well, but I didn't know how, to what extent it went well. Like, will I get into NID? It was still a question mark. I think 90% of my friends who are in NID thought they would not get in.
Okay.
Everyone thought they won't get in, because I think you cannot tell how your exam went. It just went. So don't overthink that you did this question wrong. Sometimes what our thinking of a question is wrong is perfect for someone else. For example, I thought like my question, the old man question, like where we was supposed to, it was extremely wrong. But later on, when I discussed with my friends, I understood that what I did was right. Like sometimes it's fine. Just let it go. You have done it. It's done. So don't think about getting in. You'll get in if you're done well. Just don't think about it now.
Yeah. Any questions you could read and you want to answer, you can. Arnav, there are only 2 months remaining. Shruti is asking for prelims. How should the preparation be carried out for the exam, especially the GAT part?
GAT part, I would personally say that honestly, I just thought that how much general knowledge are you going to prepare in like a few months? And realistically, everyone has the same time. So I just thought how much ever I have, I would just process that and I would look at it from a general perspective. I would just think about it logically, and that worked out.
Okay. And you gave your UCD exam as well, Arnav?
Yeah, I gave my UCD exam.
Okay. So you were trying for IIT as well?
Yeah, I tried for IIT as well. I did not get into IIT, but I qualified enough for the other colleges.
Okay. And Tanushi, you gave exam?
I qualified IIT, like I got a rank 14. Like
Rank-
yes.
Oh, great.
But I wanted NID, so
NID is in design, definitely NID is one of the best. Krisha, you gave UCD exam?
Yeah, I did give it, but my rank was around 1800. As I said, that my sketching part is not good. So yeah, because of that, I'll say.
Okay. Mahi Batra is asking Arnav or Tanushini or Krisha, are they having any issue due to management problems? I don't know what does it mean, but yeah.
you don't have to worry about that. Just leave that to your superiors.
Okay, to your seniors. Okay.
Yes. It doesn't matter now. They solved it to a lot of extent. They're working on it.
Okay. Vaishnavi is asking what score they got during mock and what in actual exam. It was same or less or more. Krisha.
What? Can you repeat it?
Yeah, what score you get during your mock test when you gave your mock test? It was same or less than the exam?
Actually, it was roughly same. when I was giving the mock test in BRDS. But I think it might change when you actually prepare for the NID, because as I said, that some days you don't feel like productive, and some days you can really ideate well. That is why I'm telling you that your mind should be so fresh and it should not be exhausted, so that on the day of the exam you do your best. And even if you are not getting that good marks in BRDS, but you can always improve. And for that, I think I was scrolling Instagram a lot, but not reels, but rather than I was always looking at how people are making products, especially on Pinterest and Instagram, because that also gives me a lot of idea and sets an example for me, like how I should solve a problem. And the other things which I think is, even in exam, when you feel like you are not having any ideas, you can always combine two different ideas and then present it at an exam. So that really helps, scrolling Instagram, but not just scrolling it, but also utilizing the source for an exam.
Amazing. We are learning from that.
Yeah.
Tanushi, in prelims, out of 100, what was your score, if you remember?
I scored something 70, I guess. Like it was 70 point something. I don't remember the exact.
Okay. Trisha, what you scored?
It was around 63.
C3. And Arnav?
I have no idea. It was probably around 63 to 65.
Okay, Arnav is relaxed now. हो गया है. I don't remember. Okay, so this was the score asked by AMG. So, Tanushi, important topics that they consider to be in drawing part.
I didn't get your question. What?
It was like important topics that they consider to be in drawing part, or Roshan
Yeah,
is
there's one thing that I saw, like the pattern I saw during all the mock tests. There's always one question from industrial, which is either cross-sectional or metamorphosis, or just like you have to show the cycle of how like a paper plane is made. There are like 7 to 8 topics in it. Like one of them is always there. Like I have seen it. I don't know if it will happen this year or not, but it is mostly there.
okay. So, Arnav, how they manage, like how you managed your study hours, like sketching and GAT together, you used to practice in a day, or it was like some days for GAT, some for DAT?
It was the only time I really should practice GAT was when the GAT lectures used to be there at like Sunday, Saturday, or Friday, I don't exactly recall.
Okay.
And the other days used to be usually sketching, some casual sketching. It just got me into the interest, so I should do it for fun itself.
Okay. So,
And what
regular.
I
Yes,
and
please.
what I did actually was I got a small A5 sketchbook, and I
Hmm.
used to carry that around every day and just sketch out my thoughts, randomly drawing apple or rickshaw meter. Just improves your drawing and execution.
Execution, correct. I have also heard from the faculty saying to the students, keep that book with you wherever you go. If you are traveling to a different city also, whatever is coming on a road also, please draw that. It will help you later on. I don't know how many students used to do that.
Even like I'm outside, I still have a sketchbook with me. In on my way, I was sketching. So you should like really take on Arnav's advice on this. Sketch what you see.
Yeah. Sketch and keep the book with you. Definitely, it will help you. Sketching and in NID also 4 years you will be doing that. So definitely, it is one of the main thing that should be practiced more. Their artwork, Adarsh, you cannot see here right now because this is prelims interaction basically. When we will have the mains interaction at that time, definitely, if it is required, the artwork and everything we will be sharing with you all. Um, any strategies to study? Right now, it's all about they have already shared that. Have you given NIFT exams also? Anyone?
I did.
Not me.
You did and you got through it?
Yes, I don't remember. It was 10 something. My rank was 10 something. I don't remember my exact rank. Or
Okay.
something like that. Yes.
Trisha, you gave you NIFT?
No.
No.
I was only preparing for NID.
Okay. Any website that students can see, Arna, for the reference? Websites, any websites for drawing, sketching skills?
Uh, I saw some people using Sketchfab to just look at 3D models and sketch them.
Sketchfab, Fab, right?
Yeah.
FAB. Sketchfab
Yeah,
is
yeah.
an app that you can use. Arnav is saying, and one
Yeah,
point.
it's actually for importing 3D models, but you can use it for seeing visualizing 3D models as well.
Okay. Before Mohit is asking, Arnav, I also get anxiety when solving drawing questions, even if I know what to make. How do I get over it?
Basically, you have to not think about it as you are giving an exam. You just think about it as you are trying to put down your thoughts.
Correct. So that is
If you
the
think about it as an exam, you're gonna be stressed. It's just gonna be exam. Just think about it as you are sketching normally. It's a normal day. You want to put down your thoughts.
Hmm. Okay. Any questions you feel you want to answer? Anyone? Is there a lot?
Ba-
Yeah. Yes, I want to answer one question.
Yes, please.
Yeah. I don't feel like human anatomy is important from the point of view of exam, because there are not many questions when you have to draw hands, or maybe like the stick figures, not even stick figures, but the proportion of the human is more necessary, that you should know the accuracy of that. But I don't think that your hand gestures and those are required in any of the questions. Even when attempting the questions where you have to make the processes of how something is made, even without drawing the hand gestures, you can easily show that. So it's not required. Yeah.
Detail is not required.
Yeah. And the other thing is how we can increase our creativity. So that is the question that we are still trying to figure out. But as I've already told you, that as much as possible, you should just look at various ideas and how people are solving it. And for the posters part, when you are given some lines and you have to draw some posters, I think for that you can refer to paintings. There are, I think, 2 to 3 accounts on Instagram who explains different paintings to you. So you can see that how paintings, like there are many various elements which are trying to convey the same meaning in a painting, which are so nicely uh, made. So that will also give you an example, an idea how you can make good posters. Yeah.
Okay. So, Tanushi, I have trouble remembering how to draw from memory. If I look at a reference, I'm able to draw it, but only from the memory, I can't. Any tips?
Use your surroundings well. I think in NID, yeah, I also, when I was sketching the room of the old man, I was not able to remember what to draw. So what I saw in front of me, I used that. But moreover, if you like, what we do is like we draw one sketch and then we move on to the next one. Draw that one same figure 5 times and you will remember it. Like for me, like in anatomy, I was weak at anatomy, so I learned 7 to 10 sketches of from a young child to an old woman, 7 to 10, and I learned them thoroughly. I can fit them in any character I wanted, any clothes I wanted. So that's how I did. Like you can do it very easily once you practice is enough. Like you need to practice.
Okay. Okay. Anything else, Arnav, you want to add here?
Yeah, basically, a lot of people are asking for some questions about drawing and like anatomy and stuff. So I would just like to give a basic example from my own perspective. I was really bad at drawing hands, even until I came at NID. It just looked like 5 lines, whatever. But it only improved when I looked at my own hands, broke them down into like basic structures and cylinders, and then I could flesh it, basically add mass to it, as you could say. And that makes you understand it better than if you just try to draw it. You have to understand the structure of the object for anatomy, I would say.
Okay. That is more important. So, animal drawing
And
is important, Arnav?
animal drawing,
Uh,
that is not something I have done ever, so I wouldn't know.
okay. One of the
I've only
students. You
done
were saying
humans
something. Yeah.
sometimes.
You were saying something.
And also, a lot of people are asking about portfolio. It's not an NID, but for others, just show your best work and who are you. basically.
That will definitely help. And definitely in the class also, students, you are preparing your artwork. That is more than enough for the portfolio that you need to present in any other colleges. But NID is not asking for portfolio from past 2-3 years. This year also they won't be asking for the same. So which books do you prefer for that prelims? One student is asking. Tanushi?
I think books were provided by the BRDS. I use those only.
Okay. Instagram account you were talking about. Can you write the Instagram account, Krishna, what you're talking about? One or two, if you remember. Because you said now people will be asking that. And yes, can you name the Instagram account? And now they will be following, so they will get a lot of views around more. Okay.
You guys all can also go, there's a website called line.com. It helps you practice your anatomy skills. That's where I did practice. Like they give you like pictures to sketch.
It's LION?
No, it's line.com.
Okay.
I think I'll just check and like I'll drop it.
Okay. Arnav Instagram, if you want to follow him, his Instagram ID is Arnav YUH. So it's together. So
Yeah.
yeah, so you can follow him as well. Do you put some of your artworks or anything, NID Live or anything?
I've started putting. I've not really put much yet.
Okay, he has started putting. So yes, you can follow him.
Basically, a lot of people are like, give your Insta, I have some questions for later. So I'm like,
And
I
don't
would-
disturb them much, students. They have their first year and it's his first year foundation is really, really tough. I know because I interact with students, it is not easy for them as well. So don't disturb them too much. So basically, lot of questions are based on GAT. If I see GK part, so many of the students are asking about the GK, that how to prepare for GK and maths. So maths is something, as I also guide students till 10th grade, very basic maths is asked in the exam, right? GK is something, there is no end to it. You learn, and every day something or other will happen and how much you will keep in your mind. So any tips on that, like how to prepare for GK and maths, Tanushi and all of you three. Tanushi, first of all, you, GK and maths, how they can prepare?
So maths, we have to start working from the starting, like even if you have like 1 month now, you can take one topic every day, work on the concept, solve some questions, like go through it once again, then next topic next. And for GK, I studied last 1 month only. I went through 6 class. So what I did with my friends, we formed a group, like we were 7 to 10 people. We all took like one topic each. Like my topic was culture, some was in economics, politics. From those like topics, each one of us went through 6 months of all the news and made like pointers on what should be remembered well. That's what we did for current affairs. And normal GK, the material provided by BRDS is enough. That's what I went through for the GK. Current affairs, yes, I did work on myself, but GK is enough. Like you can learn about the companies, the logos. That's very important. Basic GK, you will know that GK. That's there.
Okay, Krisha. Audio, your audio is, switch on your audio.
Yeah. As I already mentioned that I'm not a person who likes GK very much. So I only prepared those like I'll say questions which were done in our regular classes, which used to be on Friday, I guess. But rather than that, I used to focus more on the logical reasoning part. And I didn't do anything extra for the GK because I was more focused on getting marks from logical and drawing part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Arnav, for you?
Basically, how I thought about GK is GK is not something that this question you study for and this question will be asked. You have to get a general understanding about it, because just studying general and it's impossible that question will be asked. It's next to impossible. No point in just going hyper on a lot of questions, more about understanding.
True. Correct. So this you can keep in mind. So this was like you can improve your creativity, work on your ideation, GK, keep be emphasize that you want to learn it, but yeah, it's like less knowledge is also, but you can keep in mind what's going on. And their score I have already shared is more, it's more than 63 for Tanushi and Krish, for Arnav and Krisha, and Tanushi has had 70 out of 100 in the prelims. So yeah, perspective questions, yes, it is important. But yes, Tanushi, one question in perspective question, it is important that it needs to be very accurate.
It doesn't have to be, it should be visually like correct. It doesn't have to be accurate, because thing is you have a very small sheet to depict the huge perspective. So yeah, the points usually go out of the sheet. You just can take the ghost, you can use the ghost lines to get it somewhat close. It doesn't have to be really accurate. You just get the idea just of what you want to represent through it.
Okay. Quick Insta ID, Krisha, and now students are asking of yours also. If you are comfortable, you can share. If not, also it's fine. Tanushi and Krisha. So it's fine if you don't want to.
You can have mine. It's Tanushri Gupta with 3 A's at the end.
Tanushi Gupta with 3 A's at the end. So you can.
Hmm.
Uh,
And you can also get mine from Arnav's account. It's just Krisha and there is an underscore between.
okay. So Arnav is following everyone. You can now follow from Arnav's account. Tanushi is
Yes.
as well as Krisha's. Okay. So now I feel all the questions are same, only there is nothing new that is asked by the students. It's all about GK. So more than DAT, students are asking about GK because I feel they are more worried about the same because it's very vast, very vast. As Arnav said, you cannot do each and everything in GK. So what you can do it. Before exam, relax. When you are going in the exam, I would say this. Last time also, I personally was there with the students. Don't take a transparent pouch with you and put colors in it. They won't allow you with the packets that you have for the colors, written Stadlers or anything there. So keep a transparent pouch, put all the colors over there. Apart from that, admit card, it is very much required. Don't forget it at home. Every year, 1 or 2 students forget their admit card in morning. You don't get any print shop also to pick up. That is why one of the students missed also an ID. So this is 2 tips that I also want to give because I used to be there in the exam area. Yeah, this was all about it. Now, if you have any doubts, you can drop in the academics number. You all have that. They will answer you if they have the solution to it. And prepare, give mock test on timely basis, work on your weakness, strength, definitely it is there, but weakness, try working on that. You have 1.5 months, which is more than enough for you to start being serious about the same. If you have any doubts, faculties at all the centers in at BRDS, faculties are available 10 to 7. Approach them, go to them, learn from them as well. So this was all about today's webinar. It was great having you, Tanushi, Krisha, and Arnav. Anything you want to say at the end first, Tanushi?
Just don't get absolutely nervous in the exam. You have, give your best and focus on going back to what you have done.
Krisha? Audio.
You're on mute.
Can you repeat the question?
It's just last tip you want to give it, the students.
Mm, uh, again, you should work on composition because you'll be able to communicate your ideas in better way if you have composed it in such a way. So composition also matters more than how you're presenting.
Okay. Arnav?
I think mostly everything has been said, but a lot of people are still asking about 12th for some reason. So I personally like if even for NID, after 60% the grades do not matter. I personally got 69. It did not matter, literally. I I even ignored it honestly until after the NID exam. So that's what I would say. And also, for the exam, wear pants with big pockets because they do not allow bags in the examination hall.
Oh, great tip. Wear pants with a big pocket, carry transparent pouches with you. They will not allow anything which is written. If you are carrying a cardboard, if you say, then also nothing should be written on it. That is also not allowed. Everything should be transparent. Carry your admit card very much, very much. Although you are grown-ups, but then too many of you forget at the time. Read the admit card carefully, because in admit card they will give you all the information. So read it carefully, and according to that, be present on the first day before 1 hour to an hour before the exam. So this was all about today's interaction. We'll meet later on also for the mains as well. So yeah, this was all for today's interaction. Thank you very much. Thank you for giving us time. You three, I know it is very difficult to give time on a weekday, especially today's Friday. Tanushi, I guess she is outside only. She's not at home also, and giving time to the students. So thank you, Arnav, Krisha, Tanushi. It was great having you. I hope or like you do well in your foundation program, and next year you get good, like whatever stream you want, you get that. So thank you. All the best, everyone. Enjoy your day. This was all for today's webinar. Thank you.